Why are so many marine creatures drowned here? All of them are dead. Their bodies are like dried out, and their souls are like a mummy. They have been lying here for decades without rotting. The fish were drowned in the sea. Do you believe it? As long as any marine creature dares to get close to this strange aquarium, even if it is only for a short second, a deadly curse will come. They will instantly twitch like crazy, twist their bodies into a painful knot, and finally sink directly into the bottom of the water.
This is not a scary plot in a sci-fi movie, but a deadly lake that really exists more than 1,000 meters below the Red Sea abyss, the deep sea salmon pool. What kind of hellish area is this? Let's rewind to 2020. When the deep sea submersible searched the bottom of the sea in the eternal darkness, the searchlight suddenly scanned something that shouldn't exist at all. All the scientists present took a breath of cold air. At the bottom of the rough seabed, a huge black mirror with a width of 20 meters appeared out of nowhere. What's even more chilling is that the mirror was in the air and even surrounded by a layer of extremely thick, mysterious white fog. As the submersible slowly approached, a slightly wavy arc appeared in the lens. You heard it right. At the bottom of the sea, which is more than 1,000 meters below the water, there is actually another lake. This is simply contrary to the common sense, but this is definitely not a seawater abyss. The salinity of the lake below the water is extremely high. Because the salinity is directly filled, its density is extremely exaggerated. How exaggerated is it? If you can hold your breath here and not be poisoned to death, you can sleep like lying on a giant waterbed. But this also leads to a physical bug that drives people crazy. Everyone is water. Why can this lake be forcibly made into a river and not mix with the surrounding seawater at all? Physics gave an extremely hard and confusing answer: double spread flow. This poisonous lake is not only leisurely, but also unusually warm. The heat and salinity at the bottom of the sea want to run into the cold seawater above. But in the water, the escape speed of heat is 100 times the salinity. The heat is like a wild horse dragging down the river. It first ran up, and the water under the lake lost heat, turned cold, and sank. The two forces of the above and below are crazy, pulling, tearing apart an invisible physical barrier. So who made such a strong poison soup to kill people? Did the earth overturn the salt jar at the bottom of the sea? The truth needs to be traced back to the Jurassic era, more than 100 million years ago. When the dinosaurs were still walking on the ground, the Red Sea, Mexico Bay, and Mediterranean Sea, these three places were ruthlessly cut off by the Earth's cliff and the contact with the ocean outside. These closed sea basins were dried up under the scorching sun. The water was gone, but the salt remained. At the bottom of the sea, hundreds of meters or even hundreds of meters of white salt layer was formed. In the subsequent tens of millions of years, these ancient salt layers were completely buried by heavy sand and sealed to death in the Earth's cliff abyss. Until later, the seawater refilled the jar, and the sand became thicker and thicker, causing an extremely violent salt construction movement. The ancient salt under the ground could not bear the terrible pressure and directly pushed the ground out of the abyss. The seawater flowed into the underground abyss, and the salt layer 100 million years ago came to a cross-time encounter. After the constant heating of the Earth, these super high concentration of pure salt water were squeezed back to the bottom of the sea. Thus, a pot of pure natural ancient poisonous soup was officially released. The reason why it is called poisonous soup is because it is extremely malnourished here and contains extremely high concentrations of poisonous alkaline gas. This place is simply the 18th level hell of marine life. As long as the shrimp sticks to a point, the extreme saltiness and the toxic shock will instantly kill them. However, please pay attention to the highest capacity reversal of the whole scene. Here it comes. When nature closes a door for you, it often makes a hole in the wall. On this dead-end beach full of dead bodies, there is actually a bunch of guys who are crazy about partying. The camera zooms in on the bright green giant caterpillar. It has lived for more than 100 years and is twice as big as a gold giant. It is even blinded by blind shrimps and snow crabs. The lineup is having a good time here. It's like someone built a 5-star resort. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to open the door and go home. Among them, the most vicious one is an ancient fossil called manganese. This guy is even older than a dinosaur. All the creatures in the sea treat saltwater ponds as a deadly poison. Only manganese treats it as a free seafood buffet. Manganese is born to be immune to poison. They don't go anywhere every day and just squat by the lake and wait for rabbits. Once they see a bad fish, they swim into the lake and get poisoned. A manganese gets into the poisonous water and takes away the prey. It's a big fish. He has figured out. But here comes the core of the mystery. This place is more than 1,000 meters deep. There is no sunshine, no oxygen, and there is deadly poison gas all around. How did these immortals build such a huge ecological circle? What do they eat for a living? Scientists cut open those 100-year-old giants, and they were shocked with cold sweat. In their gills, there are a group of special bacteria. We learned in textbooks that everything grows by the sun. But in this lake of death, they don't eat the sun's food at all. These bacteria have an extremely perverted ultimate miracle. What can it do? Since there is no sunlight, I will eat the poison gas directly. These bacteria can turn the poisonous feces into energy that maintains life on the spot. It provides a strong shelter for the bacteria, twice as much. And the bacteria provide a free meal for twice as much. The once deadly poisonous substance not only did not destroy life, but also became the source of life in this crazy ecological circle. This extremely explosive phenomenon gave a hard slap. It not only overturned the previous cognition, but also took us a step closer to the ultimate truth of life. As early as 1871, Darwin had speculated that life originated from a warm, small pool. But the appearance of a saline pool at the bottom of the sea proved that life was actually a very ferocious character. You should know that 35 to 40 years ago, when the Earth was just born, what was the original ocean at that time? A terrible formula. First, extremely malnourished. Second, it contains a huge amount of saline. Third, it contains a very high amount of saline. Did you find that? This is exactly the same as the saline pool. The lake of death in this abyss perfectly reproduced the bad environment when the Earth was just born. It is likely to be the most primitive life simulator on Earth. What is more terrifying is that since life can grow in this extremely cold, dark, toxic, and salt water, then we are in the vast universe. Have we been looking in the wrong direction to find extraterrestrial life and cast our eyes into the deep space? Jupiter's satellite, Jupiter 2, and Saturn's satellite, Saturn 2, have long been confirmed to hide the extremely vast underground saline ocean. In the past, scientists thought there was no sunlight there, and it must be a cold hell of death. But now, facing the iron evidence of the deep saline pool, who dares to say that in the cold and dark abyss there is no extraterrestrial life that is surrounding the hot springs at the bottom of the sea? In order to verify this crazy guess that may subvert human history, NASA's Europa satellite sensor has gone out of service. It is expected to arrive at Jupiter 2 in 2030. At that time, maybe we can witness that in this universe, humans have never been lonely. The depths of the universe are indeed awe-inspiring,
But who would have thought that in the abyss of our own Earth, there is still a miracle of life that is so shocking? How many unsolved mysteries are there in the deep sea, watching us in the dark? Follow me to explore more galactic life with you next time. See you next time.